Houston Texans fans,
What
tough
up?
week 12, man.
It sucked. I mean, we lost, but I mean, it kind of is what it is.
It was competitive. It was a division game. Um, I get that we are ahead of our curve, so this was going to be one of those where it's like we got a chance at playoffs if we do this.
We still got a chance.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, you we lost 24-21. Of course, everybody talks about Matt Amendola's 58-yard miss. He did miss another field goal too, so that kind of sucked also. We knew he wasn't a really good kicker, let's be honest, people.
He literally said they got him off his couch.
Yes.
I mean, what can you be mad at? He literally kicked it 58 yards. We needed 59.
Yeah. It looked good. It looked
I
good.
thought that bitch was going through, and I started to turn my head, and I heard doink, and I was like, "Ah, fuck! I know what that was."
Yeah. I was like, no, bounce the other way.
It's,
Like,
it's all good. Like it's one of those things where you can't even sweat it because like you're just waiting for Kaimi to come back. And
yeah.
then the question becomes is like, would they even tried 58 yards with Fairbairn? I don't know. So damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
It's like what I took from that shit is like, for one, for us not to get too far ahead of ourselves because, like, what did we win three in a row and then we lost today on last second? Like it happens. We're still learning. Like you said, we're ahead of the curve. You know what I mean. So like that kind of shit happens. You just got to take the good with the bad because the last 2 3 weeks we dug it out. We came out on the other side of it. It's just this time we fell short. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
shit happens. And then the other thing I took from this game is, well, we're not very far from controlling this division. If that's what Jacksonville came out aggressive, they were looking to beat the shit out of us. And if that's all you can do, then all right, well, I'm not scared of nothing in this division from now on.
I mean, it literally felt like a playoff type of game
Mm-hmm.
for sure. The intensity of the game right off the rip was just like, yo, like it was funny. And they asked Trevor Lawrence too. They were like, "How do you feel about this game? You know, you did good and everything." He was like, "They go, are you excited to face like CJ 2 years in a row?" And he even said, he goes, "No, I want the teams in our division to be as bad as possible." Like he knows what's up. Like it it's just respect, but it's also being truthful. Like, nah, like that dude can play, and that's a legit contender over there, especially for the division.
Regardless of his numbers and the fact that he didn't throw picks today, I would say this was one of his worst games, to be honest with you. Like, he did
Yeah,
a lot of shit right, but he also did a lot of shit wrong.
yeah,
Um, I think he could have been more useful of his mobility in the first half, which might have changed his game. But I mean, I'm not knocking him or anything. We were in position because of him, and it just is what it is. We lost on the most apparent shit. We couldn't protect CJ, and it cost us.
yeah. They had some huge sacks given up at the end, and I know people all in the comments of different things were like, he needs to run more, he needs to do this, he needs. And it's like he said it. He's not a running quarterback, and they
Mm-mm.
even said it while you were watching the game. He'll run, but even when he's running, he's looking at where he can pass to make the bigger play because he's a throwing quarterback when it comes to first.
None of that is relevant. Like, not to say you're wrong.
Yeah,
Josh Allen and Walker were beating them so fucking fat. Make that decision in 2 seconds, like that. He's like, "Fuck that! I'm just trying to stay on my feet. What are y'all talking about?"
and that's the thing. I think as fans, people, especially if you've never played football, you can look at it from TV and be like, he should have done that. But
Yeah,
think of the view you have of you're watching over the whole thing, and
that's what it was, bro. Is Titus Howard went down. Juice came in the game, gets his first real reps. We did what we could to protect him for as long as we could. They realized what was going on, so they're like, okay, guess what? You can't protect Juice and help Fant. Like, who the fuck are you gonna help? So they overloaded that right tackle with the best pass rushers they had, and they just beat us that way. Kudos to them. They did what they were supposed to.
yep, and they did all that, and we still almost came up to win it. I mean,
I mean, the referees didn't do us any favors in that game.
Yes, and I will say this, even from a Texan standpoint, the referees were terrible on multiple calls on both sides of the field.
We
Like,
were. That's why I'm not gonna harp on that too much because it's a waste of time because there's still a chance to win. But they didn't do us any favors because, like, if you look, especially in like the second or third quarter, our problems were getting off the field on defense. But it's like you're not fucking helping me if you're calling a holding on some bullshit on third and long, you know. So
yeah.
chill out with all that, referee. Just let us play.
Yeah, it got to a point where even the announcers were like, "You have to let the guys play." Like it reminded me of like NBA calls at one point where like they're trying to clean the game up,
Hmm.
and it was just like foul, foul, foul. Like it was like, come on, dude. At some point, like the one you missed, which was a legit holding, I would have been like, "Hey, damn it! Like we got caught. All right." You called three after that were literally baby like
Bullshit.
little bullshit, and everybody's like, if that you should that's a call every time. Then if you're gonna call that shit, like
And the only reason I even mentioned it, because I'm not going to harp on it too much, is like I could tell the difference in how our secondary played once that started.
yeah,
Not that it was a direct calls that changed it, but like Tavier Thomas he got beat on the inside a couple times. It was like, damn, this dude's one of the best nickel corners in football. He should not be getting beat on a two-step slant like that. You know what I mean? But he's
yep,
not. He's playing fucking more conservative. The same thing with like Steven Nelson. They called him for some bullshit, and he's like, yo, like he's using hands. Let me use hands. What's the problem? So
yeah,
I mean, it just is what it is.
yeah. How did you feel about the Tank Dell catches? Because there was, of course, that 60 yarder. They said he moved, and people were sharing a video, and from what it looked
So
like, he was
the
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 only
big
one.
catch in the first quarter that I called back because I believe of a illegal shift. They had two players in motion. Like
Yeah,
that's operator error. We did that to ourselves. You can't. It
because
is
the
what it is.
videos they showed, nobody was moving but Tank, so it was very. But
I didn't see that video.
so it's very weird because people were sharing views from the stadium, like
Hmm.
watching it, and they were like, "Tell me who moves," and it looked like it was only Tank moving and all that stuff. But it's kind of ironic because then that whole play gets overshadowed by the late catch of Tank
You see,
Dell.
if I were to see that video, I'd be more concerned about that one because we might have that might have changed the game. The second one on the sideline, I get why they called. Like,
Yeah,
I knew that call wasn't being changed because it was initially called out of bounds.
yeah,
So I mean, even the TV people are like, I mean, it's so close. Whatever was called is probably going to stick. But there's two things that come to mind. I believe that they stuck with the call because if you watch that play closely, and I'm not trying to knock Houston fans, but like you don't understand what you're looking at. Is he drugged the foot before he caught the ball? So there's still images of him with the ball in his hand and also both feet in bounds. But it's like if you watch that close enough, the drag started before that he touched the ball. So when they consider him with
possession.
control of the ball, he's out with, you know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
get that. My biggest issue with that bullshit is the line judge who was standing in front of it called it fucking good, and their bitch ass coach ran across that field and said something, and then the other judge came and changed it. So it's like you're influenced too much by this idiot, and that's just not fair because the dude who was literally in front of it, who's seen it in real time, called it fair, and
yeah.
that's the way it should have been called.
Yeah, and that's what it was. I think like because Tank posted on his story, he posted, he goes, "All of Houston knows it was a catch," and he had his remarks of what to say and everything, but it felt weird. Like even when plays were being called, the main
Mm-hmm.
ref, the head ref would kind of be like, "Are you sure? Are you sure, dog? Because we're gonna get an envelope from the NFL in the morning saying, hey, dog, y'all had some shitty games, and
That was
some
a
of y'all
bad
ain't
one.
some of y'all ain't gonna be on some playoff games for sure. Getting that extra paycheck. Yeah, but this game, I don't want to put all the spotlight on the refs because there's many times you could win it.
Yes.
Even the last one, we've come accustomed to CJ leading us down at the end and everything. And I mean, they made some mental mistakes. The special teams had too many men on there, and you had the 12th man trying to yell for everybody. And luckily,
Cost us a
D'Amico was
timeout.
smart to
Yeah.
fucking call a timeout. CJ could have used that. I
Um,
go,
I want to put a little bit of if I'm going to point blame at anybody, I'm going to do it collectively as a group to Bobby Slowick, Dalton Schultz, and Robert Woods. Because y'all did like of the I get Schultz may have had to help in pass protection a little bit, but it's like, okay, there's too many routes being called that are taking too long to develop, and there's too much zone space or space in front of the quarterback that we're not taking advantage of. And I was like, all right, Robert Woods, like you have to recognize that and go there, or Schultz slip that and go there, or slow it. It's like call something that'll put a player in position to be open there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna blame it, but it also goes back to like I'm gonna blame you, but I give you leeway because it's like you're learning, and as being a D coordinator. You should have bailed on the running game earlier than that, though. The shit just wasn't working today.
Nah, and they went back. They didn't do it as bad as previous games where they forced it, but they
No,
were
it's like we talked about on the fantasy shit this morning, bro. Like that team is built to play in the box. They're built for the trenches. You know what I mean? And you lost Titus Howard in the first quarter, and you're already playing with a little bit of a bandage lineup, and they dominated us at the line when we were on offense. So it just is what it is.
yeah, that was a oh man, I don't know this. It's one of those heartbreakers, but it's you look at it afterwards, after the game, and you're like, all right, there's a lot of building on this game, and when you hear the other side talk about, hey, that's a legit team over there, it kind of is like, all right,
When we lost, I was not cool with it, but I wasn't worried about it. I still have a feeling. I was like, we're making the playoffs, bro. For some reason, I just feel it like we're gonna make the playoffs.
I mean, it helped. Buffalo lost already. That helps us drastically.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland lost today. That's just fun. The division as a whole, I mean, you're still pretty much you control it. You have two against Tennessee, and then you have another against Colts.
Plus the other teams that are in the wild card spot, Cleveland and the Colts, we play each one of them. So it's
Yeah.
like we could still legitimately have a really good chance to go into the playoffs.
So you get a wild card, you get to get more eyes on CJ and this team. It's a great place to be at.
When we played Factor Cap the other day, you asked me, is Factor Cap, is CJ Stroud the best quarterback in this division? No doubt in my mind he is. No fucking doubt in my mind that he's a better quarterback than Trevor Lawrence after today. No doubt about it. I don't care how good Trevor's numbers were. CJ's a better quarterback.
Yeah, there was looking at them both and like last minute drives. CJ just he has that it factor, like the stuff you see in like Mahomes, Rodgers, like
Mm-hmm.
you would see in Luck in the division so damn much when he was there. Like it's like, oh, we gave him time, shit. And I mean, he did what any person would do. I mean, it didn't help that his O line let him sack him from like 15 yards back, but you
Mm-hmm.
know, it happened.
But that was a bad play call in that spot because
Yes.
we lost 15 on a fucking bullshit ass screenplay we tried to run. And it's like, that's the wrong time for that call, bro. Wrong time.
Yeah, there was a few that like calls where I was like, I don't know about this. Like, and the announcers called it out too. They were like, why are you doing this? Like,
Yeah, but I want to talk good. Thank God that Desmond King was on the team today. Because he made that monster tackle to end the first half so they didn't score. He wrapped that dude's leg up. Is like, we're not going anywhere. And the rest of them fools got him. Like, thank God he was here today. And Stingley looks like he's doing better. He's 2 games in a row with a pick. Um, the Terminator, Will Anderson, he was on Trevor's ass in that first half. He was like, come here, boy. Come here, sunshine.
yeah, a lot of people were like, Will Anderson needs to sack him and fumble. Like, that's a lot. You're asking a lot for a dude that's double teamed most of the time.
Man, he chased that fool clear across that field earlier, and Trevor was like, you know what, fuck it. And he just threw it out of bounds. I was like, hey, that's, it doesn't count like a sack, but a loss down, that a loss of down is what it is.
Yep, it makes them have to scramble for the next one. And I mean, that you see a lot of bright spots for sure. I mean, the injuries, of course, suck. We have a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
We started the season with a lot of them. We get somebody back, and somebody else goes on. It's just the way it is right now. But I mean, a lot of the guys are stepping up, and you can tell. They talked about it on TV. The culture of the Texans is so different that guys
Mm-hmm.
want to play for D'Amico, and guys want to play for CJ, and it's just working out perfectly as like a perfect mix.
We're definitely ahead of schedule, so I ain't tripping. We did good. I like it. For some reason, I wasn't a big fan of that red on red today. I didn't like that.
I thought I was gonna like it, but
It looked too
it
much
was
like Arizona with a red helmet. Like
it looked
I want to
very
see that red helmet with all white.
ooh, that'd be nice. That would be very nice. Yeah, I think that would look a lot better. Better to the eye. The red reminded me of the Rockets court.
I love.
A little too much. It's a little too much.
Well, fuck.
Well, new week, new opponent.
Hey, we can't win them all. What did we win? 3 in a row?
Yeah. It was a good homestand though. I mean, now we play the Broncos. So
And CJ and O line, whatever that celebration thing y'all did was, where you knocked out Fant, don't do that again. That shit was stupid. I have no clue what you were trying to do.
oh, they said it was from what's that movie? Oh man, what is it called? It's the one. Was it Baby or?
I don't know. Whatever it was, I didn't understand it.
Yeah, they said it was his. I can't remember. Oh, it's from Baby Boy. The punch the celly. That's what he did.
Monster fucking catch today for Xavier Hutchins on that last drive.
You've called that for a few times.
Get that boy out there more.
You know what?
CJ Stroud, first rookie with how many passing yards in his first 12 games? Whatever. Dude's phenomenal. We did good. Fuck up Denver next week.
He breaks the NFL rookie record for most passing yards in the first 11 games. Past Justin Herbert today. So, and people were like, "Oh, it doesn't matter because we didn't win." You shut up, dude. Shut up. It all matters because you want your quarterback to be really good. You don't want to be where the Panthers are right now.
I was gonna say, how would that stat mean more if we would have won? You know what I mean?
Doesn't. Yeah, exactly. It's like we're not. It would be different if we were a Super Bowl contender and we lost, and then we're like, "Hey, you got the individual." That's different. You're playing with house money right now, so it's like, dang, I didn't hit the jackpot, but I won 100,000. Like,
yeah,
hey, that's still cool. It's like, nah, you should have won the million. Like, shut up, dude. Like, it's still a win.
It's a position you probably won't have to worry about for 15 more years.
Yes, and it's like I just feel like Texans fans aren't used to having a quarterback, and that's what it is. That's what we're at.
I get it. Yeah. Good point.
All right, Texans fans, make sure y'all drop comments down below. Let us know what you think. Like, subscribe to the network right here on Bayou City Boys. We got you covered on everything Houston sports related, from Rockets, Texans, Astros, all the fun stuff in between. Other than that, we are out of here. Much love, Houston. Later.
That's right.
How much I'm working for this? I swear my dreams are too important.